Alright, so this is a video number 3. Going back to the cat dude modeling. So, okay, so we have this, and I want to select it. This shading is just due to the faces being stretched and pulled a lot, right? So I'm gonna go mesh display, harden edge. It just makes it clean, clears up the weird shading issue. And you could also put it there. Again, that is mesh display, harden edge. You do control shift, hold control, hold shift, and left mouse click, pop it there. Anyway, I need to add an edge loop here. Why do I need to add an edge loop? Because these faces are huge chunks, right? When you compare it to this and this and this. And again, I made it on purpose because I need to add an edge loop, right? Because what I have, this here, it may look like a lot, right? This may look like a lot. Right now there's total of 96 faces. This is my poly count, 96 faces, right? So, but it's not enough to get a really nice organic shape. I'm also going to open this up. What I'm doing right now is I'm prepping the surface area to put in that additional face or additional edges, right? So that's what I'm doing right now. Just opening it up. Make sure, I highly recommend following this where you prep the staging grounds to put in an edge loop. So I did that, right? Front, my back area. I'll pull that up a bit. Right, pull that open a bit. Okay, now it's ready. Select an object mode. I'm going to do incremental save, which is Control Alt and S for incremental save. Shift right click and hold it. Choose Insert Edge Loop Tool. Check the option box for it. Make sure it's just reset. That way you can just slap it in here wherever you want. I'm gonna left click and hold and drag it so it's right on the middle, like that. Press W to get out of it. So this is called adding more resolution, meaning that the resolution quality of the model, right, the visual quality of it is going to get better since I added it. But it's only going to get, the shape is only going to get better if I go in there and immediately start to tweak the vertices, you know, to get the refined shape that I'm looking for. So pull it down. It's a bit tedious, but this part is critical. You don't want to just put a couple of, you don't want to just put an edge loop and just, you know, be lazy and just push and pull a couple of vertices. That's how you make a really crappy looking model. You go in and you meticulously start shaping it. Not just the new edge loop that you just made, but the neighboring edge loops too. See what I'm doing? I'm building the chest wall of the front. See, I'm puffing it out. But I'm also grabbing the neighboring edge vertex and puffing that out so it equals out very nicely. See? I'm looking from the top down, right? It gives me clues. Right, see right here? It dents in. Level 1 tells me, you know, gives me clues as to what I can pop out. Level 3 tells me how it's gonna look. Right? I can even pull this in a little bit more. I can pull that in a little bit more. Pull that in. pull that in. Maybe I'll tuck this down a bit, tuck that down a bit. So I have a nice round ellipse. Right? Just like in here. See your ellipses, your ellipses, your ellipses, your construction line ellipses. See? These, bump, 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 are these, right? So for all you 2D artists out there, you know, this should be very helpful to understand. Right? It's always good to look from the top down. Right? And here, press 1. See, 1 tells me that this is dented in. I can puff it out, and I also want to tuck it in a bit, tuck that in a bit, puff that out, puff that out. Right? Ooh, see this denting in? Level 1 would give me these clues. I can hold Alt and 5, toggle it to show a wireframe unshaded. Right? So I just gotta be patient. Right here's, so I'm gonna puff that out a bit. Right now I'm just looking at the spacing of my faces. Right? Because like this and this and this, they're all within margin of error, right? Some slightly more than others, right? But it's okay, as long as it's not like a massive gap. Because the spacing of the faces, they help to control how the mesh behaves, right? Because right now, this right here, see, this edge and this edge, basically they're not getting along. See how it's denting in? So what I need to do is, you know, either pull on this vertex to puff it out, round out the curvature over here too, puff this out, you know, and then maybe pull it in a bit, maybe pull that out a bit, pull that out a bit, so it kind of averages out nicely. This is, like I said, this is going to eventually be the sternum, right? And then I'm gonna go in here, go to face mode, no, go to vertex mode, right click and hold, choose vertex mode, grab all of that, all those vertices, press R. I'm gonna pancake it flat. Alright, that way it's gonna stabilize it. Press 3. Right, and then next, I'm also gonna go in, I'm gonna delete these bottom faces. The reason why I'm deleting them is because of this. Now I have more control. It doesn't smoosh in and contort the general shape. So it's easier for me to deal with, and also easier for just students to understand. Right here, make sure your symmetry is on. I'm gonna put this in. I'm studying and observing my planes. See my planes? I'm always looking at this as well. The train tracks. See? This gives me clues as to if it's nice and round or evenly distributed planes. See? And these help to shape it. Right now it's kind of doing this, right? I want this, right? See this? To be more in, right? So maybe I'm gonna let go of this vertex because it's already in, but these upper ones, right? And maybe even this, Maybe I'll leave this alone. This one flaring out, maybe I'll just tuck it in a bit. I just pulled it in. See? Now I get that nice kind of like almond shape. Anyway, so I'm gonna also push this in. See? So you can tell it's getting that torso look. I don't like how this thing is way up here. Just double click it. I'm just gonna tuck it down a bit. Right? Because now the spacing, you know, like this. And here, these three, gonna pull it in a bit. Right? This right here, maybe I'll tuck that out a bit. Maybe I'll tuck that out a bit, just a bit. This neckline, maybe I'll have it converge more. And then this right here is kind of doing this weird wonky behavior. I'm just gonna do this. That way it kind of just normalizes it. Because if the lines are all wiggly, when it's smooth, it's gonna cause possibly, you know, some strange shading too. Tuck that out. This one here too. Small little details like that. You should continually kind of refine it as you look around, right? Because it all adds up later on. If you're just lazy and you're like, ah, screw it, just leave some hanging, it's gonna come back and it's gonna multiply, like double fold the problems, because you're gonna leave behind more and more vertices that are just like wonky and edges that are like wobbly, and then you're not gonna know what to fix. Okay. So far so good. Maybe I'll tuck that in a bit more. See? Maybe this, I can pull this down a bit more. This, maybe I can pull that down. And then I'll grab this, and I'll pull this down. Alright, I'm grabbing segments at a time. From a side view. I don't like how this thing is doing that, so gotta kind of coordinate between the surrounding vertices. Okay, this right here is going this way, but maybe I want to redirect it this way. This is going this way, right? The midline, that all important midline. Maybe I want to, over here looks okay. This one, maybe I'll pull it this way. Pull that like that. This here is going like that, so maybe I'll just pull it in a bit. And this one right here, maybe I'll pull it in slightly. So basically these lines, see these lines? They're all working in unison. This one's might be an issue later. For now, I'm gonna leave it alone. Alright, so as you can see, I spent a good 15 minutes just on that one additional edge loop. See? If you just spend a minute or two and just say screw it and just move on, there's a high chance that there's vertices in there that should have been nicely polished out. Because not doing that, it 100% most of the time you're gonna end up with blocky and chunky and just plain old ugly looking model. See what I'm doing right here too? I'm always looking around what I can touch up. always considering my major planes. Maybe this one here, maybe I can pull that back a bit. No, maybe pull this back. Maybe pull that up. Or maybe even grab these. Pull that down a bit. Grab those. Pull that down. And maybe kind of flatline it so it normalizes. If you just follow what I do, right, just work patiently, you'll have a higher chance of success in modeling your character, or you'll be very happy with it. You just gotta be patient and just understand how the mesh behaves when smooth. There, see? See, it doesn't like it stretching so much. Between here and here, it's causing this weird smoothing. So I'm gonna grab these, pull it back a bit, maybe. Right. So it's smoothing out better. See this? It's just a smoothing algorithm. Yeah. Maybe. Bring that forward too. Yep, see, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba. This also makes the gestural shape of it, because the lines, right, they're flowing a certain way. Ba. See, you already can tell it's coming together. Alright, so that's 17 minutes. And then from there, I'm gonna do an incremental save. And next, I'm just gonna go to edge mode. Double click. Here, shift right click and hold. Extrude edge. I don't need the flowing menu. I don't need the gizmos. I'm just gonna press W. I'm gonna pull it down. Press 3 and 4. Right. Right now, since I have the symmetry on, I can't get the midpoint to be in the middle. I mean, what I could do is probably press D as in David, hold V as in Victor, and maybe I can snap it back here to force it in the middle and still have my symmetry on. Yeah, okay, press R. Now I'm gonna tuck it in a bit, pull it up a bit, right on here, and then press R again and pull it, flare it out, right? I have my midpoint here, I have to manually put it here due to symmetry. This one, double click it, I'm gonna just, this belt line, waistline, I'm gonna tuck it up. Right. Yeah. And then, you know, I'm gonna go in, give him a nice round pelvic area. Right, see? All because I was patient. See right here, this is getting kind of funky. See this plane? Right here, see, you can even read it here too. See? Bop, 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 bam. You want to tuck that in a bit so it smooths out. Yeah, grab that, tuck that out a bit. See? Nice and smooth. This part is a little funky. Maybe I'll pull that out. Maybe I'll pull this in. So if this was the line drawing, right? Something like that. Maybe I'll grab this. Maybe I need to pull that down. Maybe I need to grab this and this. Pull it out a bit. The reason why I'm doing this is that to give it breathing room, space. Because if you have lines that are too close, right, it causes these weird pinching, see? But if you give it more room, you know, it relaxes it and more predictable curvature. Yeah. See, this was skewed in, so I'm gonna just puff it out more. Grab that. Maybe give it some room between here and here. Something like that. Kinda don't like that. Maybe I need to grab this. Maybe I need to flatline that more. So what I did was I'm just making this straight on this axis. Maybe that'll help to normalize it. Or not. Maybe I'll grab this. Maybe I'll flatline that. Grab that. Maybe I'll flatline that too. Just a little bit. I really don't like this right here. I'm gonna pull that down. Pull it in. Pull it in. Alright, I'm gonna leave that alone for now. That's already 23 minutes. And then double click, shift right click, extrude edge, press W, yank on it, go to my front, pull all the way down up to here. Gotta make the pelt, the hip where the thighs insert into the hip socket bone area. So I'm just pulling it down like that up to here. Yeah, let's take a look. So it looks super wonky, right? So you have to go back in and maybe like grab these, pull that in. Now grab all of that, including this, pull that in. I'm gonna leave my midline alone. I'm gonna grab these, pull this in, and grab that, pull that out. I'm gonna leave this alone, right? Maybe I'm gonna accentuate the butt area. Then maybe I'll grab these since it's getting closer to this, right? These two parallel running lines. I'm gonna pull it up a bit to give it some room spacing. And maybe I'll just flatline it too. see? Here, boom, show the hips, and this area maybe I'll tuck that out a bit to continue that shape line of action. Yeah, this is starting to really annoy me. I'm gonna fix this the next round. Alright, so that's 25 minutes. I'm gonna leave it there. Now, next one I'm gonna probably fix this, and then I'm gonna show how to do the shape the pelvis, the hip socket using the multi-cut tool. Yeah. Alright, that's the end of that. Bye.